All right, how's it going, everybody? Thought I would do a quick little species profile here on Bulbophyllum biflorum. This is the two-flower Bulbophyllum, as you can tell, since it comes in pairs always. So this guy comes from Java, Sumatra, Bali, Borneo, the Philippines, basically all over Southeast Asia. Typically, they're found growing epiphytically on tree trunks at elevations between 500 and 1200 meters or 1600 and 4000 feet. So, quite a range on these guys. They're mini sized with these kind of interesting rectangular shaped bulbs, as you can see. They're quite angular. So these guys would be classified as a mini-sized, as you can see. I mean, they're not very big leaves, and the pseudobulbs are not terribly large, maybe a couple inches long, and leaves about 4 inches or so. The flowers average about 7.5 centimeters to 3 inches or 3 inches long. They're kind of semi-pendulous on these really wiry kind of stems that they have there. You typically find these guys growing in shady to medium bright light. I personally grow mine at somewhere between 150 ppfd to 200 ppfd. Now that's going off the Photone app on my phone, so how accurate that is, I'm not exactly sure, so take that with a grain of salt. I would say like unsidium level light is what I give it. Nothing too crazy. They're a warm to cool grower, so the coldest temps they see is during winter, obviously, at about 19 degrees Celsius or 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and the highest is generally 27 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the summers. Humidity ranges from about 65% to 85%. These technically bloom in the summer, quote unquote. Obviously, it is dead in the winter right now, in the end of January, beginning of February. And I've had quite a few flowers come off of this basically since the end of summer. Now, this was from Equigenera, so this could be, transitioning. I got this maybe 6 months ago. Sounds about right, somewhere around 6 months ago. And so it could be thinking it is its summer period in the southern hemisphere, and that's why it's blooming right now. So we'll have to see what it does next year, if when I kick my light cycles back up, if it tries to bloom again or if it just kind of goes dormant. So these guys, it's they're not terribly rambly. It's maybe an inch, maybe 2 inches on some of these rhizomes back here, between the pseudobulbs. It's not terribly rambly, but the problem is this thing is quite prolific. This was a fairly small division when I got it. It put off, basically, you can actually kind of tell by the quality of the leaves. So, all of these ones that are kind of, a little damaged, a little sun bleached, a little spotted, these are all the ones that came on the plant originally. And then all of these are the newest leaves. So the greater majority, so it basically doubled in size since I got it. So again, not a crazy rambler, but it will get out of control pretty quick. So I would probably keep this guy potted, just simply for the fact that it will get a little bit rambly. You can probably be safe doing a fairly significant wet dry cycle with these guys. Obviously don't let it stay dry for too long, but I let this top media dry out almost completely before I water it. And actually I don't really have much choice for whatever reason. It might just be the surface area of this basket. This one just dries out rapidly anyway. So basically every day it's almost dry, so I have to water it, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. They do have, they're not quite as wiry as say Master Zeanum. They're a little bit more, vellumness, if that's a word. So they seem to be able to tolerate a little bit more of a dry out period. Plus the range that they're growing at, the ranges of habitat slash elevation levels. Just trying to see if there's any like big honking roots sticking out down through here for you guys. I would assume that they're going to experience quite a range of humidity and temperature variations through that wide range of habitats that it's growing in. Basically, it's bulletproof is kind of what I'm getting at. So, obviously, you could grow it mounted if you wanted to. Again, I would probably do the horizontal thing just to make sure it stays nice and wet. But I personally am just growing this in my standard mix of bark charcoal, perlite, and 50% that, 50% sphagnum moss. And it's doing well. And then obviously the addition of some chicken grit, limestone, just to help buffer the pH of that amount of sphagnum moss, and also make a little bit more calcium available to the plant as well. So, yep. Other than that, super easy. Try to get a good close up on these guys. Not sure if you'll be able to see the jiggle on the lips there. They're not super there. Oh, I'm supporting them. That's probably part of it. But very interesting. They have actually, can't really see them. They must have kind of burned off. They have these weird little thread-like hairs that come off the top of the sepal there, and it reminds me of a little alfalfa hair. And then also those little yellow dots inside of there, when the sepals are completely open, they absolutely glow. It is almost kind of concerning and creepy. But again, if you get a chance and you like the species, pick one up. It's a super easy grower.